Attention passionate San Francisco 49ers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on San Francisco 49ers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true San Francisco 49ers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and San Francisco 49ers fans. Let's get to the news, folks. If you've been paying attention to the NFL landscape lately, especially the NFC West, you know that the San Francisco 49ers are always in the thick of things. But this season, there's a lot of chatter about potential moves, and one of the most talked about topics involves their wide receiver room. It's no secret that injuries have taken a toll on the team's depth at wide receiver, and that's creating some serious discussions about what might happen next. Brandon Ayuk, who's been a key piece for the Niners, is currently at the center of this storm, and there's a strong buzz that he could be on the move in a blockbuster trade that might surprise a lot of fans. Now, you might be wondering, why all this talk about trading Ayuk? Well, let's set the scene. The 49ers' wide receiver room has been a bit of a mess lately, thanks to injuries that hit key players like Ricky Pearsall, leaving the team with limited options on the field. Ayuk, who's shown flashes of brilliance since joining San Francisco, tore his ACL back in October and is expected to miss the start of the upcoming season. Meanwhile, Ricky Pearsall also faced setbacks, and that's left the coaching staff and front office scrambling to find reliable options. The team's depth has been tested, and it's clear they're exploring all avenues to bolster the roster. And here's where it gets really interesting. The team that's most frequently mentioned as a potential trade partner in this scenario is the Washington Commanders. Why? Because the Commanders are embroiled in their own wide receiver drama, particularly with Terry McLaurin. McLaurin, who's been a cornerstone for Washington, is in the final year of his contract and is demanding an extension. But negotiations haven't gone smoothly, and he's currently slated to earn around $15 million this season, a figure he feels doesn't quite match his value. So, the Commanders are looking at options, and the 49ers could be just that team willing to make a deal. Imagine the possibility of a one-for-one trade that could send Brandon Ayuk to Washington, where he'd reunite with former teammate Deebo Samuel, who's already established himself as a star in the nation's capital. On the flip side, the 49ers would acquire McLaurin, a proven playmaker who could immediately step into a prominent role in their offense. It's a tantalizing scenario, especially considering that McLaurin, at 30 years old, is seeking a contract extension, and the 49ers are experienced negotiators. They recently negotiated a 4-year, $120 million deal with Ayuk last season, so they're no strangers to the intricacies of NFL contracts. Of course, this hypothetical trade isn't without its complications. The main issue would be matching salaries and ensuring both sides feel they're getting fair value. The 49ers would likely have to chip in some additional cash or draft capital to make the numbers work, and that's where it gets complicated. But the idea of bringing McLaurin into the fold, especially with his rapport with Deebo Samuel, makes a lot of sense from a team chemistry perspective. Plus, McLaurin's ability to stretch the field and make big plays aligns perfectly with Kyle Shanahan's offensive scheme. Now, let's take a moment to talk a little more about Brandon Ayuk himself. The young wide receiver has been a key target for quarterback Brock Purdy, especially during the team's impressive playoff run last year. His route running, catching ability, and agility have made him a favorite among fans, but his injury history has been a concern. The ACL tear in October was a setback, and it's expected that he'll be eased back into action this season. Still, Ayuk is only in his 3rd year and has shown tremendous growth. When healthy, he's a game changer. The team's coaching staff clearly values him, as evidenced by their recent contract negotiations. That being said, the idea of trading Ayuk isn't just about injury concerns or depth issues. It's also about the team's long-term strategy. The 49ers are always looking to improve their roster, and if they believe McLaurin can provide an immediate impact and better fit their needs, they might consider it. Especially since McLaurin's relationship with Deebo Samuel could foster even more chemistry within the offense. Plus, with the team's current cap situation, They might see this as a way to get younger talent or draft picks in return, balancing out their roster for future seasons. Now, while this trade remains hypothetical for now, it's fun to think about the possibilities. The NFL offseason is always full of surprises, and sometimes these rumors turn into reality. The 49ers have a history of making bold moves, and their front office isn't afraid to shake things up if it means winning more championships. The potential acquisition of McLaurin could give them that extra edge they need to get back to the Super Bowl. And keep in mind, the NFC West is a highly competitive division, with teams like the Seahawks and Rams always vying for supremacy. So, making strategic moves like this could be a game changer for San Francisco. But let's also remember that nothing is guaranteed. Washington might not be eager to part ways with McLaurin unless they get a compelling offer, and the 49ers would have to weigh the cost versus the benefit carefully. Still, talking about such scenarios is what makes NFL offseason so exciting for fans. The possibilities are endless, and every move could reshape the division's power dynamics. Switching gears a bit, it's worth mentioning how this potential trade fits into the bigger picture of the 49ers' current season. Last year, they made a deep playoff run, thanks in large part to their stout defense and Brock Purdy's impressive performance at quarterback. They're aiming for even more this year, and adding a player like McLaurin could amplify their offense significantly. Kyle Shanahan's offensive schemes are among the most creative in the league, and having a versatile wide receiver who can make plays downfield is a huge asset. Ayuk's injury setback might be the catalyst for the team to explore options, but it also shows how much they're willing to adapt to keep their Super Bowl dreams alive. The coaching staff has been very transparent about their desire to build a balanced team, one that can dominate both offensively and defensively. The defense remains a powerhouse, with stars like Nick Bosa and Fred Warner leading the charge. But the offense, especially the wide receiver core, needs to be more consistent and reliable. That's why a move like this, if it happens, could be a significant boost, giving Brock Purdy even more weapons to work with. Looking ahead, fans should keep an eye on how negotiations unfold. The NFL trade deadline is still a few months away, but teams are already feeling out the market. The 49ers are known for their strategic approach, and they might be setting the stage now for a deal that could be announced later in the offseason. It's also worth noting that the NFL is a league where surprises happen all the time, and what seems unlikely today could become a reality tomorrow. Overall, the situation with Brandon Ayuk and the potential interest from the Washington Commanders adds an exciting layer to this offseason story. Fans of the 49ers should be thrilled at the prospect of new talent coming in, or conversely, the possibility of their young star being traded. Either way, it shows how active and unpredictable the NFL can be, especially when teams are trying to optimize their rosters for championship runs. As we wrap up, let's remember that the 49ers are always in the mix, whether it's through draft picks, free agency, or trades. Their front office has a proven track record of making savvy moves, and this offseason might be no different. The potential trade involving Brandon Ayuk and McLaurin could be a game changer, not just for the 49ers but for the entire NFC West. It's a story that's still developing, and I can promise you, we'll be keeping a close eye on how things evolve. And now, San Francisco 49ers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you think trading Ayuk for McLaurin makes sense? Would you be excited to see McLaurin in the red and gold, or do you prefer to keep Ayuk as a key piece of the team? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the San Francisco 49ers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest San Francisco 49ers news. We're all in this together, and the offseason is just heating up. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Niners.